Okay, so today we're going to be drawing some tigers. Ooh, because I felt like drawing tigers. I've been wanting to draw tigers for like a week. Do I normally like to draw animals, or do I have a thing for tigers? No, I don't know why I wanted to draw tigers, but I just felt like drawing them, so we're gonna get into it. So I'm going to be using a Canson XL mixed media sketchbook because tried and true, I know it, I like it. I'm also going to use this ceramic cup which I borrowed from my mom. For brushes, I'm going to be using these 3 brushes from Trekell art supplies. I saw them in a YouTube video and I decided to try them, and they're pretty good. I'm also going to use this rag, and yes, this also looks disgusting, but I like it. I can continue to reuse it for as long as I like. For my watercolors, I have this little set right here that I put together myself. There's a whole bunch of different brands in here, but the base I started with was 12 White Nights watercolors. Okay, so let's get ourselves organized here. Ooh. Let's put this over here for now. I'm just going to be looking at my phone as I do this so that I can copy the references. And this is going to be kind of like a little study session. Study with me? Anybody? No? The big shapes. I thought I was going to be good at this, but maybe not. I have to say I was really excited for this, but right now I'm just feeling kind of nervous because I think I'm realizing how hard this is going to be as a person that never really draws animals. And then there's going to be a rock conveniently covering all of the, I was going to say toes. What do you call the ends of the paws? I don't know. This is way harder than I thought it was. But it's kind of fun, the challenge. Like, if you're the type of person that only draws a certain type of thing, trying something new like this might be really fun. It might also just be a good way to, did I just do the same thing I like erased? Like, I erased it and then I did the same exact thing. I feel like I'm contouring, even though I don't know anything about makeup. It just feels like this is what I'm doing, makeup. Okay, so I'm starting to think that it's just looking weird to me because I'm not used to how a tiger is supposed to look, and that maybe a lot of the lines are actually not that far off. It's just everything looks kind of foreign to me, so I'm just gonna keep pushing through. I feel like all of the stripes up here are kind of just converging into this point. They're all kind of pointing in that direction. Maybe it's just that the head is so big. Let's extend the legs a bit. I'm hoping that'll make the proportions more realistic, but I really do think that his face is just too big. I think everything being so big is making him look kind of cartoonish, and that's fine, but that's not what I'm going for right now. I also have a feeling that because I'm overthinking it so much at this point, they're not gonna turn out good just because I'm like trying to make it work so hard right now. Okay, I think for now this is all I can do. I'm wondering if I should outline this. So I found this old Sharpie pen that I think I'm gonna use to line it. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to. It's fine. Not really, but it is. I should have thought about this before I started. It's too late. I committed to it. I'm gonna have to get through the whole thing. I am gonna make it a little bit raggedy just to suggest some fur. I think at the end I'm gonna like it, but it's definitely not what I had in my mind. I'm going to erase some of this, and I gotta say, when I started, I really thought it was gonna go really badly, that, you know, fear of failure coming through, stopping by, but now I'm like, I think I'm more realistic about what the outcome is going to be. Not thinking it's going to be perfect, but I'm also not predicting the end of the world. So in my head, the way that this is the white parts of the tiger actually had like bits of blue and, you know, like cool colors and stuff like that. Okay, I haven't used these brushes much since I bought them. I like this brush, but it's like a harder brush is a lot better for this because it makes it come out a lot more opaque. Yeah, so this brush is really good for this kind of soft gradient washes, but not so much for the, like, you know, smaller details and the opaque parts, which every brush has, you know, a different use, so I'm not mad at it. I'm still trying to be soft and I'm trying to do very gradiented stuff, but I'm also trying to just add a little bit more color and definition. I'm gonna add just the tiniest bit of yellow to the eyes, just because I feel like I should start adding details, and actually I'm gonna use this tinier brush for that. I'm also gonna go in with the same fur color. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of fur in some key areas. You know that the fur gets longer in that area. I'm gonna start painting them in. I want there to be some variety, so I'm not gonna color them super dark to start with. It'll be a little bit lighter and then we'll build up on the color as we go. I just feel like this is going to add a whole other level of like contrast. And actually, I'm kind of liking the cross hatching that I did for some of the stripes, just because I feel like that's adding some texture. I just realized that I should probably be paying a little more attention to the face, just because, you know, that's the important part of the tiger. I think I'm just avoiding the face because there's so much detail in it and I just don't know how to tackle it. But overall, this is pretty fun. Would 10 out of 10 recommend, because I'm noticing that some of the white fur actually has like the tiniest wash of yellow, and I think that will add some cool variation. Okay, so we left aside the other tiger and started a new one, and of course, since we are now experienced tiger drawers, this one's gonna be perfect. I also went ahead and picked a much harder pose, because why are we here if not for a challenge, right? Yeah, I'm just realizing they have like huge necks. I do think this face is looking a lot better overall. You can also see the head a lot better. I think I can see the different parts of the head a lot better this time, which is nice. Yeah, it's funny, I was joking around before about, you know, being experts, and I certainly don't think I'm an expert, but even from that last drawing to this drawing, I was starting to just feel a lot more confident. I guess it just goes to show how much practice has an effect on your drawing, right? It's not like I've practiced this all that much, but definitely the more I practice it, I know that the better I'll get. Okay, so now I'm going to just lightly try to erase everything, and I'm going to hope that none of the ink is still wet. But it doesn't look like it, so luckily I think we'll be able to just get into the coloring. I'm basically just gonna try to do the same thing again. Now I'm starting to add a second layer, even though the first layer is still wet, because I want them to pretty much mix with each other in a way that looks natural. At this point, I was stuck pretty much watching paint dry because I was done with the first layer, and I basically just had to wait for that to dry so I could go in with a second layer, and I got bored, so I decided to do a little sketch on the side, which wasn't much because it ended up looking somewhere between a bear and a llama, but it was fun. And then by the time I was done, I was able to go back to my drawing because the paint was dry. So I moved on to a slightly stiffer brush, just because I feel like I'll be able to get some more detail like this. And the plan is to just switch between the two brushes to soften out some of the edges if I can't do it with the stiff brush. I am trying to keep some variety in the colors, so I'm not completely mixing them when they're on the tray. I'm kind of just going back and forth and picking different colors because I think that that will make for a more interesting painting. I'm gonna take this chance to add a little bit of blue and purple just to add some cool colors to the mix because everything is looking very warm right now. So yeah. And just like that, I finished the second kitty. And because I was having so much fun, I actually ended up drawing a third one off camera. I ended up deciding to decorate the page with some stars at the end because, you know, we live for the aesthetics. And that was the end of that. It was actually really fun to try something different, and I'm really glad I tried it, and hopefully I'll get to try it again. After all that, I couldn't leave good enough alone, so I decided to just go ahead and add a few tiny white highlights. Okay, so I tried to do the details with this Uniball white gel pen, but it didn't work. I think it's just really old. Either way, it's now going on the list of traders, and instead I finished doing the details with this white Posca pen. It does seem a little watery though. I love that. I feel like just the little tiniest bit of white just makes such a big difference. Since I'm already here, I'm gonna just add a few more little white details, and that's it. I think I'm done. Yeah, I'm done before I get carried away anymore. One more. Okay, I think that's enough practice for one day for me. I hope y'all had some fun, maybe got to draw something yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye!